I'm 75 now, and I can't remember anybody except the Queen Bee.
Princess Anne and King Charles, two of the most recognizable faces in the royal family, may no longer be able to keep certain long-buried truths out of sight. For decades, they've stayed resilient, upholding tradition and following every rule. But now, it seems the weight of that hidden truth is becoming impossible to carry. What exactly have they been concealing? And why is it finally coming to light? This revelation could reshape everything we thought we knew. Stay with us as we break down the full story. Princess Anne and King Charles can no longer keep this hidden. Princess Anne and Queen Camilla's relationship has always looked polite and casual from the outside, but behind closed doors, it has never been warm or close. Both women have been significant figures within the royal family for decades, yet they never formed a deep or personal bond. Royal watchers have long noticed a quiet distance between them. They stand together at events, exchange small smiles, maybe a few words, but something colder lingers beneath the surface. That tension didn't appear out of nowhere. It reaches back many years, long before Camilla became part of the royal family, and before she married King Charles. Before Camilla ever married Charles, she was involved with Andrew Parker Bowles, and this is where the story becomes complicated, because Andrew wasn't just Camilla's great love. He was also someone who had shared a strong emotional bond with Princess Anne. Anne and Andrew genuinely cared for one another. For a time, it even seemed like they might have a future together. But there was one obstacle they couldn't overcome. Andrew was Catholic, and at the time, Anne, bound by the traditions of the Church of England, was not permitted to marry someone of that faith. Though marriage was impossible, the connection between Anne and Andrew stayed alive. In fact, Anne valued him so much that she chose him to be godfather to her daughter, Zara. For Camilla, being married to Andrew while knowing he still had a lasting emotional tie to Princess Anne couldn't have been easy. Camilla remained composed in public, never letting her feelings show, but many observers sensed an undercurrent of quiet tension. During one of the periods when Camilla and Andrew drifted apart, Camilla met Charles, Anne's brother. Charles was drawn to her instantly, impressed by her calm confidence, but their relationship didn't progress smoothly. Some within the royal circle felt Camilla wasn't suitable for a future king. She was older, experienced, and didn't fit the traditional mold expected of a royal bride. Then Charles left for Royal Navy service. When he returned, he discovered that Camilla had reunited with Andrew and married him. That moment changed everything. Charles was devastated. Anne watched the man she once loved marry another woman. It created a complex web of emotions that didn't simply disappear with time. Anne eventually married Mark Phillips and dedicated herself fully to her royal responsibilities. But her connection with Andrew never entirely faded, and that lingering closeness likely contributed to the quiet strain between her and Camilla. Years later, Camilla divorced Andrew. Eventually, she married Prince Charles, meaning she had now married both Anne's former romantic partner and Anne's brother. The emotional tangle only grew deeper. Princess Anne is someone who values tradition, duty, and discipline. She expects those who enter the royal family to honor those same principles. Camilla's path into the royal household was unconventional, overshadowed by the painful downfall of Charles and Diana's marriage. To Anne, Camilla represented a disruption, one tied to memories of Diana, a woman adored by the public and remembered with deep affection. For years, Princess Anne and King Charles chose to keep this tension quiet, protecting the monarchy's public image. But as Camilla's influence expanded and internal pressures increased, the cracks became harder to hide. Eventually, the silence broke. And as Camilla stepped further into her role, one question lingered. Could she ever truly earn Princess Anne's respect? Let's find out. The struggle for respect and acceptance. Over the years, Princess Anne and Camilla appeared together at countless royal events. They stood side by side, smiled for the cameras, and played their roles perfectly. But beneath the surface, they never seemed at ease with one another. The distance between them, subtle yet unmistakable, never fully disappeared. Their story was never one of shouting matches or dramatic confrontations. Instead, it was shaped by missed opportunities, unresolved emotions, and the unspoken weight of royal duty. Anne, known for her strength, discipline, and sharp attention to detail, does not offer praise lightly. She never pretends to like someone simply for the sake of politeness. When she respects someone, it's because they've genuinely earned it. So when Camilla officially joined the royal family, Anne didn't welcome her with open arms. She watched her carefully, offering only the most formal courtesy. Camilla, meanwhile, understood from the start that earning acceptance would not be easy. She knew both the public and the palace had strong opinions about her. Still, she put in the work. She took on more royal duties, supported charities, and stood by Charles at every event. Over time, she began proving that she wasn't just seeking a title. She was genuinely trying to contribute. Anne noticed. She saw the effort, the consistency, and the determination. Slowly, her resistance softened. But even as the tension eased, warmth never followed. Their conversations remained short, their smiles polite but reserved. The emotional gap remained. Much of the divide between them came from their differences. Anne was raised inside the rigid traditions of the monarchy. She followed the rules, lived with discipline, and never chased praise or public attention. For her, duty was something done quietly and without fanfare. Camilla's life had been different. She didn't grow up under royal expectations. She had to learn everything later, often under public scrutiny. For Camilla, improving her image sometimes required using the press and public appearances. Anne believed duty should be private. Camilla believed it sometimes had to be visible so the public could understand it. These contrasting views didn't make them enemies, but they prevented them from ever becoming close. They eventually found separate spaces within the royal family. No battles, no closeness, just a mutual coexistence. Even as Camilla's role grew and she took on more responsibility, Anne wondered whether she truly grasped the full weight of royal duty. To Anne, the crown always comes first, above everything else. When Charles became king and Camilla was named queen consort, the family held a private meeting to discuss it. Anne spoke clearly and honestly. She didn't shout, but she didn't hold back either. She believed the queen consort had to be someone the public trusted fully, someone who had shown unwavering dedication for many years. Anne wasn't convinced Camilla had done that. Camilla listened quietly. She didn't argue, but Anne's words struck deeply. They came not from critics or tabloids, but from within the family itself. After years of working toward acceptance, the doubts still stung. Anne wasn't trying to be cruel. She was being truthful. Her entire life had been built around service, duty, and sacrifice. She simply held Camilla to the same standard. Charles tried to keep the peace, but Anne stood firm. Her loyalty to the crown outweighed everything else. Yet, even as doubts surrounded Camilla's place, another figure was rising, someone who would soon reshape the royal spotlight entirely. How would Camilla handle the growing influence of Catherine, the Princess of Wales? Stay tuned to find out. A quiet rivalry in the public eye. During this time, another woman was steadily rising in public admiration. Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Catherine quickly became a national favorite. People loved her sincerity, her warmth, and her grace. She wasn't born into royalty, yet she carried herself with the natural elegance of someone who belonged. The media celebrated her constantly, often noting the ways she reminded them of Princess Diana. As Catherine's popularity soared, Camilla once again found herself overshadowed. No matter how diligently she worked, the spotlight seemed to settle on Catherine instead. Inside the family, Catherine formed genuine bonds. The late queen held deep respect for her, and even Prince Harry spoke warmly of her. For Camilla, who had spent years trying to earn acceptance, this could have quietly stirred old feelings of being sidelined. Though Camilla and Catherine appeared friendly in public, whispers still circulated. Some suggested Camilla looked down on Catherine's middle-class upbringing. Catherine's parents worked hard to build their business, giving her a normal, relatable childhood, something the public admired deeply. When Catherine married Prince William in 2011, the nation celebrated her as the future of a modern monarchy. She embraced charity work, connected effortlessly with people, and came across as authentically kind. Meanwhile, although Camilla's image had improved over time, her past continued to shadow her every move. Camilla carried on, supporting Charles, attending engagements, and throwing herself into charitable causes. But many of her efforts went unnoticed. Old narratives followed her, while Catherine's popularity only grew stronger. Within the royal household, Catherine's influence increased. Her opinions carried weight. Many saw her as someone capable of guiding the monarchy into a new era. Camilla, even as queen consort, still had to fight quietly for her place. This subtle competition between the two women rarely appeared in their actions or words, but people sensed it. They stood beside each other, smiling for the cameras, while deeper tensions remained hidden beneath the surface. Catherine built her connection to the public through kindness and a modern touch. Camilla relied on her rank, experience, and years of service. Both women worked hard, but the public perception of them created an invisible divide. Camilla had spent years trying to earn acceptance. Catherine seemed to win hearts almost instantly. That contrast shaped everything, from their influence within the family to how the public viewed their roles. Though both kept things calm and courteous on the outside, their paths remained very different, and the quiet tension lingered. With this unspoken strain still in the air between Princess Anne and Queen Camilla, what Anne did next revealed exactly where her loyalty, priorities, and sense of duty truly lay. Keep watching to learn more. Princess Anne's meaningful visit to Guernsey. Princess Anne, formerly known as the Princess Royal and the only daughter of the late Queen Elizabeth II, recently made a deeply meaningful journey. She traveled to the island of Guernsey, one of the historic Channel Islands, for a purpose that carried tremendous emotional weight. Her visit marked the 80th anniversary of Guernsey's liberation from German occupation during the Second World War. Liberation Day, celebrated each year, honors the moment the island regained its freedom after years of hardship and oppression under German control. For the residents of Guernsey, especially those who lived through that dark period, the memories remain vivid even 8 decades later. While on the island, Princess Anne did far more than attend official ceremonies. She spent genuine time with the islanders, particularly the elderly residents who had experienced the occupation firsthand. Many shared their personal memories with her, stories of fear, uncertainty, deprivation, and the overwhelming relief that came with liberation. Princess Anne listened with sincere attention, honoring each account with the respect it deserved. At a solemn church service held on Friday morning, she delivered a heartfelt speech. Standing before the gathered crowd, she said, "It brings me great joy to be able to come back to Guernsey once again, and I truly thank you for asking me to be here with you. It is a very special day as you celebrate Liberation Day, and it is also a day to think about and honor the people who lived through the hard times of occupation or were taken away from their homes." Her words touched many, serving as a powerful reminder that the struggles and sacrifices of wartime are not forgotten. Through her presence and sincerity, Princess Anne reinforced just how important it is to remember the past and to honor those who endured it. But her mission of remembrance didn't end there. A princess on a mission of deep remembrance. After leaving Guernsey, Princess Anne was scheduled to continue her journey to the nearby island of Sark the very next day. Although smaller in size, Sark had experienced its own hardships during the war. Princess Anne planned to participate in similar Liberation Day commemorations, showing once again her dedication to keeping the stories of the Channel Islands alive. While addressing the public, she also carried a message from her brother, King Charles. She told the crowd that the king had asked her to offer his warmest greetings to the islanders. He wanted them to know